Hello everybody, this is John Ashworth, otherwise known as the Fitness Nomad, back again today with Leigh Mills. I was trying to come up with an idea for our regular, now we're sort of transitioning into a regular twice a month deal where we're covering what we covered the Friday before on TV.
Right, so we're really putting into practice what we're preaching.
Right.
And we're saying, okay, these are the examples, real life examples that we're using that explains content that we think our viewers are interested in, content that you as a fitness professional believe is relevant, right, and putting that together and sending it out.
Right, and remember, it's really, it's the same demographic. So it's the same demographic all the way across the country, women aged 25 to 54.
Yeah.
So all the topics that we choose, we try to cater to that demographic. And this week I thought we did a really good job with that.
We did, and actually wore the same high heels that I was wearing for the segment. So they're not as high as my normal ones, but they're not flats either. So the segment, right, John sent me an email saying, I found this research about high heels and how they're really damaging and can cause major problems, not only with your calf, but then pain later on. And so what we did is he sent me some information on that, and I put together a segment. So I guess we should probably first talk about the information that you found.
So it was a study, and you know, a lot of the stuff that I pick up is just coming off of, you know, the New York Times or NPR or the places that I frequent for news during the week. And this was off the NPR blog, and it was a study done in Britain where some researchers looked at women who were wearing high heel shoes, and the fact that in this group of women that they tested, even when the women took the shoes off, when they took their high heels off, they were having a lot of pain because, of course, they're shortening those calf muscles. Mm-hmm. And then even farther than that, other research studies that have shown an association between high heels and arthritis in the knee, and of course it increases the chance that women roll their ankles, and you know, all the problems associated. And I'm sure as a fitness professional, if you have clients you're working with, we can all relate to women who come to us complaining of severe calf tightness, and question number one is, well, are you wearing high heels all day? Mm-hmm. All day? And usually the answer is yes. So I thought that was really interesting. It's also helpful for me to reinforce it with the clients that I'm trying to get to wear their high heels less often. So I presented it to Leigh, and off we went. So
be proactive when you're trying to think about these topics. I mean, this is something you come across. It doesn't always have to be a news item. You notice that this is a problem. You look online. You can probably find some information to back up whatever assertion you're trying to make. When John sent this to me, I immediately read it, and I thought, this is great because I know exactly how I can start the segment. You know, those 4-inch stilettos might look great, ladies, but they can also cause you serious problems down the road. You're going to want to listen up for this next segment. Well, probably almost every woman wears high heels, so immediately they're at home going, what? You know, I want to hear this. Or their husband saying, see, I told you those, you know, listen to that segment. And so, and we had actually some discussion generated afterwards, which was good because you know then that people are interested. So what we did is I first asked John about the research, because I think it's important to start with the basis. You know, what did they find? And we went through all of those things, and we talked about some other problems that could be associated, and then John put together on his blog a list of 3 things that you can do to kind of combat this problem, realizing that reality is that we're probably not all going to just toss them out. Right. We might still wear them, but there are these things that we can do to kind of have a good compromise. And so we ended the segment on that, which was something that you initially put in your blog. Right.
So a couple of things here. First of all, I always know how well I've done with my idea for the week based on how many times they use it during the 30-minute newscast as a teaser between as they go to commercials and things like that. And this one, by far, I think it was like at least, I think almost every break, some reference was made to the high heel segment coming up to keep their interest.
Because our segment is either what we call third or fourth block, meaning there's the first block of news, then a commercial break. Second block, which is weather, commercial break. Third block is either the interview or fourth block, depending on if we have big national stories and we have to flip them. So you have an opportunity to be teased at the end of the first block, so once, at the end of the second block, twice, and then if you're in the fourth block, again, 3 times. I think we were in the third block, but I know for sure you were teased in both, which doesn't usually happen. Usually you only get 1 teased slot because the producer wants to tease as many different elements. But if you have something very teasable, they'll tease it twice if it trumps anything else. And so
Right.
that's a really good observation that I'm just hearing for the first time. And you're right, that is affirmation from a news perspective that this is something we believe our viewers are interested in.
Right. So did you get feedback from viewers afterwards? You said there was some discussion afterwards?
Yeah, I
So
did
what happened?
actually. I got an email from somebody who said, I want to learn more about this, and I wear high heels, but I actually have experienced some, issues, and I didn't really realize or connect it, and I don't exercise, and blah, blah, blah. And so I was able to just give them the link to your blog, which is a great way to just kind of push people to content if you have that content.
Right.
And so that was, and we actually also talked about it in the newsroom. Carlene, my co-anchor, and I always wear high heels, and so we talked about it for another half an hour,
Oh, nice.
just talking about the two of us, and then David joined in, our chief meteorologist, and I think it's just something that everybody does, so everybody kind of has a connection.
Yeah, Carlene is pretty attached to her high heels. I got the sense from being there.
Yeah, hers
last
were
Friday.
like.
She wears big, long high heels, and she looks great in them. But it was interesting
But
to
when
see
you
her
said-
reaction.
Yeah, you said you shouldn't wear them, and she said, well, they make my legs look good, remember?
Yeah,
Which
right.
is a common
Right.
response.
Right. And so then we came up with, in the segment itself, as Lee was saying, we finished the segment with, well, okay, if you're still going to wear them, fine, but do these
Right.
3 things.
So giving you the research, you probably shouldn't, but if you still choose
Right.
to, which we all know might happen,
Right.
we still want to help.
Right. And I will link to the actual newscast, from this video. As at the time we taped this video, I haven't written up the press release, but my general idea for the headline is, local fitness professional reveals truth about high heels, and on from there. So that should be a good attention-grabbing headline, I think. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think you're funny because you smile because you would like to be proud of yourself, which is why I'm laughing at you, because I think I'll call it local fitness professional. So
Because I'm really something.
I'm just acknowledging. No, I think that's great. I think, any way you want to tease it will
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I can't remember the way I teased it because I didn't print that off, but I think, anything that references, what you don't know about your high
Right.
heels, or maybe your favorite thing in your closet, but they could hurt you, anything
Oh,
like
yeah,
that
that's
is
a
going to
good
get
one.
people
That's a really good one.
to get people thinking.
And I promise to pay better attention during the newscast, because they do, like Lee usually does you do an awesome job of taking the idea and like twisting it and turning it into these headlines. And that night, if I was paying more attention and writing stuff down, I would have had 3 or 4 really great headlines. But I'm sure you'll do fine on your own, and I'll throw in a few ideas about that.
Don't follow such a rule. Just say to
Right.
yourself, what is this content? It's that high heels can be bad for you, and then you just say it in a conversational way.
Right.
That's really the best way to get.
Okay, so I think we've covered it. The solutions that I presented, those will be in the press release, but I brought out the calf board, the stretching board for the calves, which as fitness professionals you're all, I'm sure, familiar with, the downward dog, and then I simulated with a yoga block stretching the calf on a step. So I stepped up onto the yoga block and we used that.
And then the
I
board.
did it all barefoot because it's summertime and I love to be barefoot, and Lee was kind enough to comment about my stinky feet while we were on the air, so that was really nice of her. But added
Hey,
to the
live
fun,
TV.
and
You never know what you're gonna get.
No, you never know when the news anchor is going to make fun of your feet. So,
You gotta have a
The
little fun.
bear-
Life's too short.
so is there anything else that we missed or that you'd add to that?
No, I think that's really it, and I think it was a really good segment, and it's a great example and a way to start this kind of movement towards doing more about what our segments are, and so that people can really put that into practice. And I think it really is a good segment, and one that, as a fitness professional, you could definitely market.
Yeah, so my goal is twice a month we're going to present you everything that you need as a fitness professional to generate some attention in your local media without that much work, just changing, the press releases with your contact information as you need to do so. But all the information should be timely enough that you should be able to just put it into play. All right.
Fun.
This is John Ashworth, otherwise known as the Fitness Nomad and the Fitness Pro Blogger. Thanks again, Lee, for being here.
Anytime.
Have a great evening.
You too.
All right, take care, everybody.